Yo, what is up, internet strangers? My name is Gavin. Today, you know that film, you know how there's always that film that you like but everyone else seems to hate? That's what we're going to be looking at today, and since I have very controversial opinions, it's going to be very controversialist. This is the only time I'm going to have to use that BS thing where say, respect my opinion, so actually respect my opinion. I shouldn't have to say this, but there's people out on the internet that just don't care, and I guess there's no point in doing this because they're just not going to care anyways and just get mad at me. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Also, this isn't a top 10, this is just 10. This isn't like a top 10 thing. I just don't want to have to like rank whatever, just how controversial they are. Didn't want to, that would have took too long to make. But yeah, my first one, I'm going to talk about number 10, if you will, A Bug's Life. Now, a lot of people really seem to dislike this movie, and I don't really understand why. Is it the best Pixar? No. And a lot of people find it forgettable and boring. For me, maybe it's because I have a lot of nostalgia for this one. I honestly thought that just the characters were really fun, and just like the characters, of course, we had our main character who I really did like, and I thought that the grasshoppers were definitely fun to watch, and I just thought that was a really good, fun time, and just the characters. There's some really good voice acting in the mix, and just the concept is very interesting. And there is an issue, of course. There's the animation, which looks pretty terrible. But besides that, I think a lot of people don't really look beyond some of the good stuff it has. Is it the best Pixar movie? Of course not. But is it a good film? Yes. Number 9 is Child's Play 3. A lot of people seem to dislike this one. I have fun time with it. It's a good movie. It's not, is it fantastic? Of course not. Definitely not. But is it good enough? Yeah, it kinda is. I think that overall, just the whole third act with the amusement park is really cool. There's a lot of issues. It has many flaws. Of course, like the thing about them putting actual bullets in a paintball gun, that doesn't make any sense. That's not logical at all. But honestly, there's some really good Chucky one-liners, some really good kills, and overall, it's just a really good, fun ride, and I enjoy this one a lot, and I see why people dislike it, okay? I can see a little bit, I just don't see how people hate it and say, oh, it's the worst Child's Play movie. I cannot see that at all. I don't see too much why people dislike it, honestly. Sure, it does rehash some things, and there are some issues for sure, but there's a lot of stuff it does right that I really did enjoy with it. Number 8 is Thor: The Dark World. This is one of those movies where it's like, I find very few people that actually enjoy it. I only know one person that's in the current community that actually likes this movie. Everyone else just seems to really dislike it, and I don't really see why. I think there's some really great visuals in the mix, some really great visual style with like the worlds and how they look is really, really great. Fantastic. I think the score is absolutely phenomenal. I think maybe it's because, like, I pay attention to the score. Like, this is the most in my time of being a movie critic where I pay attention to the score the most, but I just thought the score was just so fantastic. That second act, just, my friend talks about it. We talk about all the time of how fantastic and how great it is. Of course, Malekith is a really bad villain. Like, he's really bad. He's a terrible villain. But besides that, I had a fun time with this one. I don't really understand why people think it's the worst MCU film. I think that there's way worse ones, and yeah, I just don't understand why people hate it so much. Number 7, Carrie 2002. Now, a lot of people don't talk about this film, but everyone I see that has talked about this movie, the majority, really dislike this one. And I really don't understand why people hate it. I get it, I do kind of understand a little bit, but I thought, like, the main lead, I don't know her actress's name, but she was really great as Carrie. She's no Sissy Spacek, of course, but she was really great as Carrie. She really portrayed the weirdness, the oddity of Carrie, and she worked really well for the film, and I thought that did a lot of different things. It was more, comparable to the book, and it was a lot more to the book, so I really did like that it was very unique and different compared to in the whole scene of Carrie taking over the city. It wasn't in the original film, and I like that they added it in here. And of course, there are some issues. There's some pretty bad acting, pretty bad special effects, the whole ending, the trying to set up for a TV series that unfortunately never happened. That would have been very interesting. I would have really watched the TV series, honestly. That would have been very interesting to see how they would have played that out. But it never happened. I do see some of the faults and why some people dislike it. For me, overall, I think it's a decent movie. I think I enjoy it. Number 6, Space Jam. A lot of people hate this movie, and I can see why, but for me personally, this is a guilty pleasure. This is what I call a guilty pleasure movie. Is it good? Of course not. But is it a fun time? Yes, I have so Michael. A lot of people say it's an advertisement to sell Michael B. Jordan shoes. I can see why. It's definitely not a good movie, but I thought it was a fun fight. You got Bill Murray in there, like Bill Murray's in this movie. That is awesome, and you got Michael B. Jordan acting for like the first time ever. That's awesome and interesting. It's very cheesy. It's very '90s. I watched this film a ton as a little kid, and I had such a fun time with it. And I've watched this film. Actually, I've rewatched this film quite a I watched this film like a couple months, like about 3 or 4 months ago in quarantine when it like first started, and I watched it with my little sister. I don't know, I don't remember if she loved it or not, but I don't think she liked it that very much. Um, but it's a guilty pleasure movie. If I do a top 10 guilty pleasures, this will probably be on the list. But yeah, it's a fun time. It's not for everyone, of course, but I enjoy it. It's fun. Number five. All of these movies seem like decent or just good films, but this one is a very controversial one, and that is Mockingjay Part 2. I think this was a fantastic movie, and I think a lot of people overlook it. A lot of people say the first two are really good, and then the Mockingjay Book Splendor 2 was really all that great. I love this film. Of course, the Mockingjay Part 1 isn't that great, but I did really love this one. Just the payoff that we get, the ending. There's some really great emotions in the mix. We got Snow, who finally, of course we didn't really get to see it, but he finally gets what he deserves. And just of course we have the main lady. I forgot her name. And she gets what she deserves as well, but she really deserved it. And just like that whole emotional scene is just like a whole emotional scene where they literally kill children. They kill children. That's so dark. Like, oh my gosh. And then like that's a very emotional scene. Like, it's very emotional. And just Snow's so sinister, and it's probably his best in this film because like he's on screen the most, and the actor's awesome as him. Like, he's fantastic. And I thought the action was some of the best and the most entertaining out of the series. And just overall, I really did think this was a really fantastic film. And I don't see why people think it is one of the weaker ones in the franchise. I think it's easily the best, honestly. If I did rank in Hunger Games, this would probably be number one. I should do that, honestly. I should probably do that. But yeah, I really like this. Number five is The Turning. A lot of people really dislike this movie. A lot of people hate it. I can see why it's not that great of a movie. But overall, I thought it was a really fun time. And just maybe it's because I'm a sucker of the genre. I love horror. But overall, I found this one kind of a fun time. I thought Finn Wolfhard was I thought the cast was honestly really great. A lot of people disliked them and found the performances still. I really liked the performance. I thought they did a really good job. I thought there was some really cool atmosphere. Of course, the ending, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth, and it's definitely a sour ending, and there's some just generic jump scares and stuff like that. Maybe I need to rewatch it. It's been like 7 months since I've seen the movie. Maybe I need to rewatch this one. But from what I remember of it, I thought it was a really decent enough fun time. Number three, The Amazing Spider-Man. A lot of people seem to dislike this one. Like, I think it's very underrated, and confuses me why people hate this one so much. Like, I thought, like, the fact that some people think it's the worst Spider-Man movie, I do not understand that in this list. A lot of people hate Andrew Garfield's performance. I like Andrew Garfield. He's awesome in The Social Network. Of course, he's not as good in this film as he is in The Social Network, but he's really good in this film. I really liked his performance. He has fantastic chemistry with Gwen Stacy. Mark Webbs is really great at writing relationships, and he does a really great job in this one, I thought. And I thought the Blizzard villain, he wasn't the best, but he was pretty good. The CGI with him I really did enjoy. Honestly, this is a really good film. Is it a great one? Definitely not. But if I own it, and I wouldn't mind putting it on again. I like this one. Number two, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014. Now, like I said, this isn't a top 10. I don't adore this one at all. But I think it's a decent enough fun time. Do people dislike it? I can see why. But I enjoyed myself. I had a fun time with this movie. Maybe I do need to rewatch it. I haven't seen this one in a while, so maybe I'll rewatch it and I'll be on the side like, oh, this movie sucks. But for now, I had a fun time. I thought it's just a fun time. It's not that much more to say. Number one is The Rise of Skywalker. Yes, I know, most people dislike this movie. Maybe it's because I haven't seen it since it came out in theaters. But even if I just look at it as a film, remember as a film, I still love it. I think it's, of course, is there issues? Yeah, but I thought there's some really great payoff at the end, even though there are some questions that weren't really answered in the end of the film, especially Finn's and Rey's relationship. Come on, couldn't we get an answer to that? I would really like if we got an answer to that film. I get it. It's a lot of people don't really talk about that, but I felt like it needed to be addressed. Of course, it seems like I'm dissing this movie more than I'm actually talking about the positives. I really thought just the space battles were really great. There's some really great action sequences. I thought that overall we still get really great scenes with the characters, really quippy lines. I thought the sacrifice with C-3PO, of course, it seems like a little bit of a weird sacrifice, but for me, it was honestly really great to see it because, like, C-3PO is usually kind of the useless character, and we get to see him actually do something for once. In these films, I thought the space battles were really fantastic. I just thought, of course, with Emperor Palpatine, he was still really great in the film, honestly, even though, like, just the way they explain it wasn't that good, but I still liked him being in the film. Of course, just overall great movie. I should rank the Star Wars films. I should probably rewatch this one just to see. But overall, that was a really great movie. So yeah, guys, that is it for the new to the channel. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.